ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। ओम सदाशिवसमारंभां शंकराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां शंकरं शंकराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। नमः श्री शंकरानंद गुरुपादाम्बुजन्मने सविलास महामोहग्राहग्रासैक कर्मणे। हरि ओम। Yesterday we saw 4 types of obstacles in the present. Past example we saw because of attachments towards things and beings, that story of Mahishi, the queen. That example, the story we saw, how he was attached to the past queen of this queen, and then how he was disturbed, etc., and how Guru taught him. Then in the present obstacles are 4: Vishayasakti, Prajnamandhyam, Kutarka, Viparyaya, Duragraha. What is that? Attachment to the worldly objects in the present, lack of sharp understanding, unwanted dry logic, Kutarka, unhealthy logic, and Viparyaya, contrary perception. 4 things we saw. Now in the 44th verse, we will see how to overcome these 4 kinds of obstacles in the present. So what is that? They are there in 44th verse. Shamadhyai Shravanadhyaischa Tatra Tatrochitai Kshayam Nitesmin Pratibandhetaha Swasya Brahmatvamashnute. These 4 barriers, obstacles are removed. Shamadhyaihi. Shama, Dama, Uparati, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhana. Then Sravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, Tatra Tatra Uchitaihi Kshayam. Respectively. By 6-fold sadhana, Shama, Dama, Uparati, Titiksha, Samadhana, Shama, Dama, Uparati, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhana, Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasana. Nitesmin Pratibandhe. When these obstacles are removed, obstacles in realizing one's own essential nature, Asya Swasya Brahmatvam Asnude, then the realization of one's own nature takes place. It dawns. It dawns as what? Oh, this is me. This is I. This is the Aham Brahmasmi. That Aparoksha Anubhuti takes place. So, Vishayasakti. First 4 obstacles we saw. First obstacle, Vishayasakti. So, Vishayasakti is removed by Shama, Dama, Uparati, Shraddha, Titiksha, Shraddha, and Samadhana. This is called inner wealth. Shama means what? Mano Nigraha. Controlling the mind, not suppressing the mind, controlling the mind with wisdom behind, teaching the mind, telling the mind the consequences of its running into the world outside. So when I teach the mind like this, and slowly with wisdom, with Viveka Shakti, right and wrong, between right discrimination between right and wrong, what to do and what not to do, etc., etc. Shama sadhana. Dama is what? Indriya nigraha. Indriya nigraha. That is, the sense organs are constantly running out. So sensory discipline. When sense organs are engaged properly in our respective duties, and sense control, if it is practiced, it is called Dhamma. Uparati is what? Swadharma Anushtanam. Withdrawal. When do we withdraw? Your mind cannot be withdrawn. So withdraw the mind and place where? In your own Swadharma. In your own, whatever duties are given to you in this life, by circumstances, by the Paramatma, by Swabhava, you can notice it, follow that. Shraddha is what? Shraddha is what? Shastrasya Guruvakya Satya Buddhi Avatar. Tremendous faith in Puja Gurudev or one's own Guru and Shastra is called Shraddha. Titiksha is what? Forbearance. Ability to Shita, Ushna, all those things, Sahishnutvam. Shitoshta, Sukha, Dukkhadi, Sahishnutvam. Sita, all these things, pairs of opposites are there. Dvandva, Sahishnutvam. So, ability to bear it. We cannot bear extreme happiness also. There was a person whom I know many years back, maybe 15, 20 years back, I think. He was wrongfully charged by many people and then he was dragged to the court. All wrong cases are filed against him. So he was fighting them. And then High Court in particular state released him from all cases. I said all the cases are false, absolutely free. He came to hotel and he started talking, telephoning everybody, stating that I am got free. High Court let him understood, gave me wonderful judgment. I got free, I got free, I got free. He is a genuine person. False cases were there, charged against him. When he, after calling and after in the evening, hotel boy came and he was found dead. Then the doctors and all that said that he was unable to contain the joy, that he became free from all kinds of cases. Out of extreme joy, his heart failed. His heart could not contain the joy. That's one part of it. Second part is in life, so many problems we face. Extreme heat, extreme cold. All these things, forbearance, titiksha is forbearance. We have to bear them. Then samadhanam is concentration of mind. Ekagrata is called samadhana. So when these practices are there, shama, dhamma, because of controlling mind, dhamma, etc., the mind doesn't run after because how do we control? With knowledge, with wisdom, with analysis, with buddhi, training the mind, coaching the mind. It's called manasa bodha. Bodha means here teaching. There's a great Mahatma in Telugu, he wrote 108 slokas singing on manasa bodha. Oh mind, why are you doing this? Oh mind, why are you doing that? Know the reality of mind. It's a wonderful thing, manasa bodha. Very simple language, in Telugu it was. Manasa bodha. So that Vishayasakti is removed by Shama, Dhamma, Uparati, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhana. Next comes prajnamandyam. Dullness of the intellect. Intellect is not sharp to understand. To listen. When listening also, we are not able to analyze it. So what is that thing? Prajnamandyam Shravana. By patient and perseverance in listening. Listening to scriptures and satsanga. Constantly listening. And then the buddhi will jagratam. Buddhi will awaken. बुद्धि की जागृति होती है. Buddhi awakens slowly when you coach the buddhi, teach the buddhi. Buddhi catches and then slowly it unfolds. It beautifully becomes, it shines. So buddhi becomes sharp. The buddhi becomes sharp means what? It will become capable of understanding the scriptures. Grahana Shakti will improve. So, for Prajnamandyam, dullness of the intellect, what is to be done is listening, Shravana. And third, this one, Kutarka. In the Vartamana, in the present, obstacles are what? Vishaya Shakti, Prajnamandyam, Kutarka. Third one, Kutarka. And Viparjaya, Duragraha. Fourth one. So Kutarka is third one. Shravana Adi is there, no? Shravana Adi means etc. Shravana Manana. So Manana when we do, because what is Manana? I mean, reflection. Reflection is what? Shastra, instructed things which are there, Shastra, which was actually told by Shastra. When I contemplate on Shastra analysis, Mannam, reflection I do regularly, and Shastra gives its own logic. Shastra logic is given, no? Srutimatas tarko dustarkat suviramyatam. Srutimatas tarko anusandhiyatam. Sadhana Panchakam, Shankaracharya says one should withdraw from dustarka, perverted arguments. Perverted arguments and logic, one should withdraw. Then which tarka should be followed, which reasoning should be followed, which argument should be followed, what is told in Shastra. So Shastra gives its own logic. When Shastra gives its logic, then our Kutarka, which is based on our own haphazard mind and intellect, materialistic thinking. We saw in the yesterday's class that scientific reason is based on what? Pramana. Which Pramana? Indriya Pramana. That is Pramana gathered through Indriya. Indriya only Pramana for them. Whatever I can see through up there, that data is analyzed, understood, that alone is there. Whatever I cannot see, I don't believe. I cannot see the existence of Jiva after leaving the body, so I may not believe it. Many things I don't see. So everything is to be brought under the exam, under the microscope for analysis. That logic is different. That is required for this world. But yes, Shastra Vihita Tarka is there, no? In that, Kutarka is removed. Through that, how is it possible? Through Mananam. So through Mananam, through reflection of the Shastras again and again, where the reflection of the logic is given, provided by Shastras, by constantly thinking and studying about the Shastras, whatever the Shastra is teaching us, all the Kutarka and wrong logic, wrong analysis, perverse arguments also will go away. And the fourth one is what? Viparjaya. Viparjaya means what? Contrary perception. Viparjaya, Duragraha is insistence. Not only there is a contrary perception, meaning what is truth is not realized, understood, accepted. Opposite to the truth, we started accepting it. I deny the truth, the declaration of the scriptures. But I cannot see it, smell it, taste it, touch it. No, there is a Jiva after leaving the body. Oh, who sees? Who has shown? Can you show me the dead soul? I cannot, so it is not there. Then what is the counter perception? I am real. Shastra says you are not real. Body is mithya. World is jagat mithya. No, I don't feel it. Shastra says you are not the body, but I feel I am the body. So whatever Shastra mentions, opposite perceptions. My perceptions are contrary to what scriptures have said. Why this happens? Because of lack of Shraddha in Veda as Pramana. Shastra as Pramana. So as long as I don't believe Veda or Shastra Pramana, then there is no question of acceptance what Shastra has said. That means what? I am living based on my own sensory knowledge, taking that as real. It's quite opposite. Opposite to what? What Shastra says. How is it removed? Nididhyasa. By meditating, by inquiring upon one's own true nature, constantly analyzing, thinking about it. Then what happens? Slowly, the contrary perception is removed. So these 4 obstacles which are there. Vishaya Shakti, number 1. Prajnamandyam, number 2. Kutarka and Viparjaya Duragraha, insistence. All the 4 are removed by Sravanamana Nididhyasana, by Samadhamopadi, Samadhamopadi, etc. Then Sravana Manana Nididhyasana. Correspondingly, all the things are removed. All the obstacles are removed. So, even though I am doing Vichara inquiry, why am I not able to realize the truth? Because of obstacles, Pratibandha. What are the obstacles are there with respect to past, present and future? That part is over. And then what are the obstacles are there? 4 are enumerated in the present. Past is related to the king attachment to his own queen in Purva Ashrama. His Purva Ashrama. That is the problem. And all the 4 obstacles in present, 4 remedies are given. Now what is left out now? Agami, future obstacles. Future obstacles. So we'll chant 45th verse. Agami pratibandhascha Vamadeve samiritaha Ekena janmana kshino Bharatasya trijanmabhihi. Agami pratibandhascha Vamadeve samiritaha. The obstacle of the future, that's beautifully narrated, told, illustrated in the example of Vamadeva. Vamadeva's case, when we study, we will understand what is Agami. Agami, obstacle, future obstacles. Ekena janmana kshino bharatasya trijanmabhihi. In the case of Vamadeva, his future obstacle, we'll see, explain, then we'll see. The future obstacle of Vamadeva, Agami obstacle, which is yet to come. For him, with respect to previous life, his Agami karma was Garbhavasa. So, the future obstacle was removed in one birth. In the womb of Vamadeva's mother, when he was there, Vamadeva, in that womb, one Agami Janma for him, no future Janma. With respect to his past life, as Vamadeva in the womb, it is a future life. So in that future life, one life was left. He had to undergo some experience through Garbha. In the Garbha, staying in the mother's womb, he stayed there for some time and he realized the truth there only and claimed the Ham Brahmasmi Anubhav he has got. Vamadeva Rishi. Later on he was born and then he grew, he did his work, that's a different issue. But realization took place. So Vamadeva took only one Janma, one future Janma only. Bharata, you take Bharata, he took 3 Janmas. One is Bharata as a king, then you attach it to deer, then deer Janma, then became Jada Bharata, not talking to anybody. He gave a Upadesha to king because he was absolutely not talking Jada Bharata, Jadavat Tishtati. Insentient like that, was absolutely no chance. The king was going one day, king, I think, and he asked to lift the palanquin. He also there was carrying palanquin and he scolded him. Then he gave the entire teaching to him. Then the king apologized, got the knowledge of wisdom, knowledge from him. But he took 3 lives, future. So it's called Bhavi Pratibandha. Bhavishya Pratibandha, meaning future obstacles. Agami Pratibandha. So in 45 and 46, in these 2 slokas, the future Pratibandha, future obstacles are dealt. Now let us analyze this. Vicharan he is talking about a very special type of prarabdha, very unique prarabdha. What is happening? Let us analyze. Normally, the prarabdha related to janma that ends in the current janma only. Because the prarabdha for which I took the birth, I took this body, that will come to an end. When the prarabdha is exhausted, whatever I have to go through, the sukha dukkha, bhoga, ayatanam, shariram. Shariram is called sukha dukkha bhoga ayatanam. It's a medium vehicle to express, to go through sukha and dukkha experiences in life. So there's a prarabdha quota with which we are all born. So as per the prarabdha, sukha dukkha is coming to us. When all sukha dukkhas which are meant to be exhausted through this body are done, then the body falls off. That particular janma ends. So when our janma ends, current janma, the prarabdha related to current janma will come to an end. So end of prarabdha is what? End of that particular life. So whatever prarabdha caused this life, whatever destiny has caused this life, that destiny is completed. So future life is what? Depending upon some other sanchita karma. Sanchita karma means balance. Karma is there, lot of karma. So from that, some other prarabdha karma will be initiated. Then we get exhausted. And in this life, whatever we have done punya and papa with a sense of doership, that will again accrue as a future janma, as a future prarabdha. But what is happening? In Brahma Sutras, it all come. You do punya and papa, it results into janma. But in Brahma Sutra, certain karmas are analyzed. Certain good karma or bad karma. Normally what happens? One karma we have done, it will end for one life, it should end. But in some cases, what happens? Some cases, good karma and bad karma results into multiple janmas. That is not that, that particular karma itself is capable of giving one particular karma itself is capable of giving good karma or bad karma, is capable of giving many janmas, many births. That's why we say, who is Ishvara? Karma paladhata. Karma paladhata. He is the dispenser of the fruits of our actions. But in that, Ishvara is Swatantra, independent. I cannot demand, because I myself don't know what kind of karma I have stored in the account. Good karma, bad karma, what is in store, I don't know. But then, when that karma is released, please listen very carefully. When that karma is released, given as a fruit, when that karma phala, fruits of karma is given to a jiva, depends upon Ishvara. Ishvara who decides when to give karma phala. We cannot decide. So what happens? Sometimes what happens? Ishvara can do many things. That depends upon his own wisdom. Wisdom means he decides. What does Ishvara decide? One karma phala is there. That Ishvara, what he may do, he may give that karma phala divided over many lives. One karma you do, the phala is divided many lives. Or he might also do 10 karmas, good or bad. All the results of 10 karmas put together in one go he might give. Like somebody is struggling, is a beggar or something, alone, nobody is with him. Suddenly he got a lottery, a big building. Lottery, he got money, purchased huge building. Then somebody gave him a girl to marry. So in one go, suddenly all the punya, ghar ka, paisa, patni, so log bhi mil gaye. All servants also joined, become very rich he became. Overnight, we can say overnight. So he must have done many punya karmas. So many punya karmas ka result Ishvara gave at one go. Or one punya karma may be divided over many lives. Or one bad karma divided into many lives, or in one life he may give. Or many bad karmas put together he may give in one life. Or one bad karma he may divide it over many lives. We don't know how Ishvara functions. So one particular karma is capable of giving many lives, good or bad. So Shastra says there are many such karmas which will lead to many good janmas or many bad janmas. Several times that phalam is repeated. That phala is book. Sometimes 7 lives they say. For 7 lives he may become rich person. Or 7 lives he may be a poor man. Many much karmas are there. So Agami Pratibandha means what? Whatever is the prarabdha left over, some bhoga bhogya, but there is something left out because Ishvara divided that into many lives, over many lives. Some shesha, some balance रह गया भोगने में, इस जन्म का प्रारब्ध में भोगते भोगते कुछ ऐसा प्रारब्ध कुछ रह गया, उस प्रारब्ध को भी भोगना है, तो उस प्रारब्ध को जो भोगने के लिए दूसरा जन्म लेना पड़ेगा, तो उस अगले जन्म में इस प्रारब्ध का भोग मिलेगा. तो इसका मतलब क्या है? इसी कर्म का प्रारब्ध हम क्या कहते हैं? आगामी भविष्य में भोगना पड़ेगा. तो इसको कहते हैं आगामी प्रारब्ध, आगामी प्रतिबंध. तो ये अगले जन्म तक चला गया. So the obstacle is carried over to what? Next life also. So वामदेवा पिछले जन्म में ऐसा कुछ कर्म किया है, कुछ प्रतिबंध रह गया, कुछ कर्म का शेष रह गया, कुछ प्रारब्ध का शेष, the balance of some destiny is left out, and that to bhog, to go through that, only garbha vasa is enough. Staying in the mother's womb is the time in which that pratibandha, that obstacle which was brought forward from the previous life, is exhausted. So that pratibandha, that obstacle got cleared in the Garbhavasa only. While the Vamadeva Rishi was staying in his mother's womb, that was got exhausted. So when that got exhausted, he became free. He immediately realized in the womb only, Aham Brahmasmi. Shuka Maharshi also, Vyasa Bhagavan, because he refuses to come out of his mother's womb. So Vyasa Bhagavan tells Shukadev ji, Beta aajao bahar. In one kalpa, the story is what kalpa bheda hota hai stories mein. He was staying in the womb for 12 years. In mother's womb. He is refusing to come and mother is bearing him. So the Vyasa Bhagavan asked Shuka Maharshi, my dear son, please come out. He says, what will I do by coming out? I am here comfortable. I am establishing myself. How does it matter that I am here or there outside? But Vyasa says, no, your mother is, please think about your mother. Oh, I never thought about it. Then he just came out and started walking. This is how Bhagavata sloka. Yam pravrajantam anupetam apeta krutyam vaipayano viraha katara ajuhava putreti tanmayataya taravo bhineduhu tam sarvabhuta hrudayam munimanatosmi. He just walked. Now, I am not going to talk about the sloka. Vyasa was attached to son. Putra Vyamoha. He was running after Shuka, but Shuka was leaving. So some prarabdha was left. That's called agam. So leftover destiny, leftover some karma phala. For one karma, one janma, in one janma, one bhoga is enough. But some karmas are such, we suffer over lives or we enjoy over lives. So Vamadeva has realized the truth in the womb of mother only, because that obstacle which was there is released, was completed, removed in that janma only, in the Garbhavasa only. But in the case of Jadabharta, it took 3 lives. For Prarabdha, it took 3 lives. So life after life, when we do sadhana, when we reflect, when we think, when we live life, spiritual discipline, all gets added. But some Prarabdha bhoga is there, Bhavishya bhoga. So that also is an obstacle. That has to be cleared. And we may have so many lives to go through. We don't know. We don't know. So this yoga brashta, the one was seeker of truth, practicing, but did not complete his sadhana, that eventually results into another life, another janma for that person. So 46th verse. Yoga prashtasya gitayam atite bahujanmani pratibandhakshaya prokto na vicharopyanarthakaha. Yoga prashtasya, one who was the yogi who was contemplating but did not realize the truth in that particular life. He did not achieve the truth. He did not realize the truth. Gitayam, in Bhagavad Gita. He declares what? That yogi who did not get realization, yoga prashtasya gitayam atite bahujanmane, atite bahujanmane, in many, many lives. He will go through many lives. 1 life, 2 lives, 3 lives, 10 lives, we don't know. Many lives, bahujanmani. And in each janma, a small progress he will make. Next life, some other progress, something else. Some more distance he will cover. So bahunam janmanam. Like that, many, many lives. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. For ajnana is different. But here in the case of jnani, when sadhaka, spiritual seeker, on the path of spirituality, he will improve every life, he becomes better and better. So Bahujanmani Pratibandakshayah Proktaha. Bhagavan Krishna said, the Pratibandha obstacles are destroyed in many lives. And na vichara api anarthakaha, na anarthakaha. Vichara is there, then what about vichara marga? It is so. Therefore, whatever you inquire in this life about the truth, thinking about the truth, inquiry, vichara marga, mimamsa, inquiry you are done. Not completed, not realized the truth. So, Vijayamuni says, therefore, this anarthaka, na anarthaka, na anarthakaha. It is not wasted. It is not useless. This path of inquiry, path of contemplation is not useless. Useful only. By next life, you can continue the sadhana from there. That's why sometimes Gurudev jocularly says, for very old people, suppose first time they never attended to any spiritual talk and they realized old age, very old, then they understood, oh, I wasted my whole life. I never attended any talk. I never heard any satsang. I never met any Mahatma, any sadhu. How difficult it is. So they attend 80, 85-year-old, suppose they started listening. So Gurudev would tell them, not that discouragement. He says, too early for next life. He would say jocularly, that too early for next life. But this, understand the lesson in this life. What is it you have learned? Not to start spiritual journey very late. This lesson we have learned, yes, that's enough. So next life, right from childhood, our spiritual journey should begin. What are the reference slokas in Bhagavad Gita? This 6th chapter only. Bhagavad Gita 6th chapter only, this sloka was taken out. Yoga Brashto Bijayate. He says, Arjuna says, Yoyam Yogastvaya Proktaha Samyena Madhusudhana Etasyaham na pashyami Chenjalatva Chitim Stiram. Whatever the yoga that you spoke so far, Bhagavan Krishna, yoga of concentration, yoga of Samya, Madhusudhana, by way of Samyena Yoga, Proktaha, Etasyaham na pashyami. I don't see this, I don't realize this. I am not realizing that everything is Brahman. Whatever yoga you said, you spoke, I am not realizing it. Why? My mind is chanchala. Mind is restless. Because of my restlessness of my mind, I am unable to realize what you are speaking. Chanchalam hi mana Krishna Paramadipala. So mind is chanchala, restless, strong, turbulent, unyielding. And it is very difficult to control mind, as though as difficult as to control the wind. Very tough. So Bhagavan Krishna there he says, no, don't worry. Efforts are not gone waste. He will take another life. He will continue sadhana. So don't worry about sincere seekers. So in the 40, what Bhagavan Krishna said, Prapya punya pratam lokan ushitva shashwati mata samaha suchinam srimatam gehe yoga brashto vijayate. Bhagavan Krishna said that. And then after a lot of upasana, you did Brahma inquiry, you do phalam. What is the phalam? You may not have realized the truth, but as a byproduct, something is phala is given to you. That you got a higher loka, Brahma loka you are taken. I may not be intending to go to Brahma loka, but you could not reach destination in this life. So you are Before next body is given, you are rested. You are provided a Brahmaloka accommodation. Or Punyalokas, you go there. Relatively, they are more permanent. And after Punyalokas, when you spend some time, Suchinam Srimatam Gehe, and you take birth in very nice family, religious family, spiritual family, dedicated family, healthy family, mentally healthy, attitudes are good, environment is there for spiritual sadhana, and that to your house, Mahatmas keep coming, saints and sages keep coming, lot of discussions going on, pujas go on, vratas go on. The atmosphere of the house is fully charged with spiritual vibrations. So such a house, one will take birth. So whatever practices you are doing, nahi kalyana krut kaschit durgatim tata gacchati. My dear son, one who is putting forth efforts for one's own spiritual evolution, he will never have a bad gati. Durgati he will not have. He will have only sadgati only. So Bhagavan Krishna says, in 47th verse, same verse, which we read again we'll chant. When not first time we'll chant. 47th I did not read. Prapya punya krutam lokan atma tattva vicharatah shuchinam srimatam gehe yoga brashto bijayate. Previously I read the sloka from Bhagavad Gita as it is. Prapya punya krutam lokan ushitva shashvati samaha. Here what is written there? Atma tattva vicharatah. That is slight difference Vidyaranya Muni brought here. So Gita sloka only, slight difference. So Atma tattva vicharatah. Because of the contemplation on the nature of the self, Atma tattva vicharatah. What is the benefit? Punya krutan loka. So that means what? Very nice, very important point is, for a mind which is well prepared through Sravana, etc., etc., well, ready to receive higher wisdom. So such a mind goes to Veda as Pramana, accepts Veda as Pramana. For such a mind, Veda means Pramana. So I am qualified. No, really speaking, to very, very less number of people are there in the world, those who study Upanishads or Vedanta Granthas, understanding them. Very less percentage are. So if the mind is not prepared, mind is not matured enough to understand Vedanta, then Vedanta is not for me. Then what I should do? Satsang, Sravana, you go there, gain knowledge, Paroksha Jnanam, do Upasana, do some social service. So here Vijayamuni, Krishna said, Vijayamuni is quoting Krishna Bhagavan, you reach higher lokas, stay there for some time, come back in a pure house, clean house. Not only the environment I'm talking, mentally clean. Values, all those things. Spiritual family. This yogi takes birth there. So Bhagavan providing all environment for spiritual rocket to go up. Providing everything. Athava yoginameva kulo kule bhavati dhimatam nispruha brahma tattvasya vicharat tadhi durlabham. 48th sloka. Athava or. Yoginameva kule bhavati dhimatam. Sushinam Srimatam Gehe is a well-cultured family, not a yogi family. So there you will get a good support system you get from birth. But otherwise, to be born in a yogi family, a yogi can be grihastha also. Very knowledgeable, very deep. Such a family you take birth. Athava yoginameva kule bhavati. Dhimatam. Very, you take the birth. Nispruha brahmatattva vicharat tadidurlabham. So, if the nispruha brahmatatvasya vicharat tadidurlabham. Nispruha means a man, a yogi, who is freed from all worldly desires. Such a man is born in a family of pure yogis. Why? Brahmatatvasya vicharat. Because he had practiced contemplating on Brahmatattva, on the nature of Brahman in previous life. Such a birth, tadhi dharulabham, such kind of a birth is rare indeed. To take birth in etadhi durlabhataram, Bhagavan Krishna says. Idrusham janma. This kind of a life to get, to be born in a yogi family. Suppose somebody had very powerful political vasanas, and that fellow will take only political family. Because there only he can flourish his, he can flourish and he can exhaust his vasanas. Nispruhaha. The yogi is free from all worldly desires. He takes birth only in yogi family. There are Bhagavad Gita slokas only. Almost bodily lifted as it is, except little change here and there. Then what happens? Tatra tam buddhi samyogam labhate paurvadaihikam yatate chatato bhuyaha tasma etadhi durlabham. In this new birth, he remembers all his earlier knowledge. What all he contemplated on Brahman. Buddhi samyogam labhate. How does he get buddhi samyoga? Because of purvabhyasa, natural inclination towards spirituality. Some people have born genius, we say, where in music, in arts, in painting. Right from childhood, they are drawn to. Nobody told them. Nobody told them. So we get child musicians. Excellent musicians are there. We wonder how come they are singing right from childhood. So buddhi samyogam, paurvadehikam, whatever he has got there, the previous body, previous life, that buddhi he gets. He may not remember the details of previous life, but buddhi as a talent, as a vasana, as a force, as a guidance, it takes him towards that field on. And in this life, he will put greater efforts. Yatatecha tato bhuya. Whatever he had put in last life, he will put more efforts. Tasmat etadhi durlabham. Therefore, this kind of birth is rare indeed. Remember that previous life, taking birth in a yogi family, practicing with more intensity than in previous life, to realize the truth, continue the sadhana, tattva vichara. This kind of life is, therefore it is difficult. Because he is able to recapitulate the old life, Janma also. previous Janma also. And that is facilitating him in this life to move ahead. So, Purvabhyasena tenaiva riyate hyavashopi saha aneka janma samsiddhihi tato yati parangatim. All Bhagavad Gita slokas on little variation. Purvabhyasena tenaiva hriyate hi avashopi. Such a yogi, because of his earlier spiritual practice, Hriyate avashohapi is forcibly brought into this field of spirituality. Is effortlessly attracted, drawn towards what? Avashahapi, effortlessly. He has no control over that. He is just drawn towards spirituality. Spiritual thinking, spiritual sadhana, effortlessly is drawn. Like effortlessly somebody is drawn towards arts, music, literature, etc. I have seen some child poets, our own some known family members in my mission. I have seen that girl, one girl, right? Many years. From childhood, I'm seeing her. She writes she coupled, and I did not understand what she is writing. With such a chaste English, and I had to refer dictionaries to understand. I mean, she must have been a very great poet in previous life. Somebody, very great artists are there. And they practice more in this life. In case of secular sciences also, same thing. In case of spirituality, more. So, purvabhyasena tene vrite, and he is drawn effortlessly towards the particular spiritual sadhana or spiritual field. So, they will continue with more and more greater intensity than in the previous life. They put their efforts to realize the truth. Thus, aneka janma samsiddhi. In this way, after many lives of spiritual practice, janmas, many lives, they practice and practice. Even all great, they have many lives of spiritual practice. So any great Mahatma, you see, it is not that they have achieved one life. They have reached that state after much tapasya, much sadhana. So after many lives of that effort, he attains siddhim, param gatim. Ultimately, he reaches the final abode. So here again, I will stop here. 50th verse we saw. 51st verse we will see in the next class. And the same thought continues. Okay. For today we will conclude here. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnmudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Sadgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai. Hari Om. Thank you all. Tomorrow we will meet and continue the slokas. Hari Om.